once again, as Kim said, I've worked in Georgetown several times over the last few years, working with small business and some secret shopping and some presentations and things. And I'm happy you're here this morning because we're going to talk about how to grow your business. And I know for many of you, well, for all of us, this is a really trying time going through this pandemic. And I realize that several of you are in different stages of your business. You're in different stages of survival, recovery, I know we're all in different places right now. As a small business owner myself, I can really understand, the position that this pandemic has put a lot of us in. So today I want to share with you 7 different ways that you can grow your business. They're not all necessarily related to the coronavirus situation, but when we get to number 5, I'm going to talk about some specific things around COVID-19 that may be able to help you. Some tips, some innovative marketing things I've seen in other places. So let's talk about, what is it that makes small businesses survive, that makes some businesses thrive? Have you ever noticed how some small businesses just always seem to have it together? They seem to always be successful and have the right answers and do the right things. And then other small businesses just really struggle trying to find their footing. Well, my question to you is, do you think that that successful business is just by accident, or do you think that's by design? I think it's by design, because there's a lot of different things that go into making your business successful after you start that business. So we're going to talk today, in the little time that we have, we're going to talk about those 7 things that I recommend, that are some concrete. Each one of these things are concrete things that you can take away today and you can implement in your business by this afternoon. So I hope you'll take some notes on some things. We will be sharing the slides at the end of this. We've got a link for you. If you want any of the slides, you can go download those. But we do hope that you'll take some notes on a few of these things, because I think you'll be able to implement some of them, putting them directly to use. Okay, bear with me here. Used to having a clicker, so I don't have a clicker today. I have my fingertips. So, okay. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is that before we get into the first 7, I want you to get in a mindset today that we are in a different playing field. We're in a different place, and you're not going to be able to do things the way that you've always done them before. Even if you have always had that idea of, you've always had that mindset of, we're not going to do it this way just because we've always done it, you got to really take that mindset today with the situation that we're in. So I want you to think about things from the standpoint of, you're the boss. The buck stops with you. Everyone in your business, regardless if you're just a 1-person operation or you have several employees, everyone looks to you for direction. And it's the way that you dress. Well, not today, because we're all working from home, but the way you dress, the way you talk, the attitude that you have, you may not think about it every single day, but the way that you present these things is the tone that you set for your staff. And so when they determine that a boss likes to do things the way that they did it 5 or 10 or 15 years ago, people will get on board with doing that same thing over and over, because if they're following your lead. But when they determine, and they can see from your actions and your behavior and your conversations with them, that you want to continually improve, that you want to seek out best practices and challenge the status quo, guess what? They will get on board with that with you too. So as we get into the 7 tips, please, I just want you to adopt this mindset, that we have to adopt this philosophy of, we're really willing to do things some different ways this time. Okay, so number 1, the first tip to growing your small business is to craft a culture shift. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that there are things that you can specifically do to move off center. Is the culture that you've created in your business, is it exactly what you want it to be? Could it be something different? Chances are, even if you've had a business for even just a few months, chances are that there's some things that you could change in the culture. And that, like I said, with the other thing, that starts at the top. So looking for new ways to be creative and create a new culture. Look for things that your staff wouldn't expect you to do. What is something different that is not like you, that is something you haven't done before? It can be changing the format of your staff meetings. It can be changing the location for something. It can be shifting up something in your store if you have a brick and mortar operation. But it's just giving them an opportunity to share new ideas. So when we talk about culture shift, let's talk about setting the tone for that. It has to be real and it has to be authentic, or people can sense that it's not. So you have to be willing to create a culture shift. So what does that look like? There's several different things that you can do to create culture shift. And, depending on where you are in the life cycle of your business and how long you've been in business and your relationships with staff, you may not need a lot of these things, but here's how we change a culture in a small business. First of all, you coming to the table, recognizing that you're the servant leader, you're the boss. And, I had a boss when I was a teenager, had a job in high school. In my very first job, my boss said to me, "I'll never ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do or haven't done before." And he was right. The time that I worked there, he was willing to do anything. And so folks need to see that from you too. So being the solutions broker, people need to know that you can help them fix their issues, fix their problems, that they can come to you, that your organization is the solutions broker for the type of customers that you serve. Changing a culture can also involve a new beginning. So what I mean by that is not looking back, not saying, well, that's what made us money before, or that's what our customers liked in the 90s, or, a vendor that you used before. Always looking ahead, not looking back and looking at old problems that might rise up, but looking ahead. Us and us teamwork, what I mean is that's the opposite of us versus them. So this is for maybe a little larger small business where you may have 3 to 10 or 15 employees, where there's little cliques, or it's the management versus the staff. The whole operation needs to be us and us together, not us versus them. Positivity and optimism. I know that's not always easy to come to work with, but right now it's really critical that your staff can look to you for positivity and optimism. And so this is one of those things, you got to fake it till you make it. Even if you're not positive today and optimistic today, they need to hear hope and optimism in your voice, hope for the future, for the survival of business right now. We'll talk about customer service in just a little bit. It's one of the 7, but you have to have a shift around customer service, because your staff has to understand that you consider customer service paramount, that it is the essence of the customer experience. So we'll talk some more about that, and that you're creating a collaborative environment. Do your workers, do your staff know that they can come to you to collaborate with you, not just to ask your permission for things? Do you reach out to help them? And clarity and mutual expectations. What I mean by that is, clearly that you have articulated what you expect of their performance, and that clearly that you have articulated them what they can expect from you as the boss or as the business owner. So clarity in both sides of expectations makes for a good culture shift. And if you have any questions about any of these things, you can put them in the chat box too, and we'll come back to them, make sure we get them answered. Okay, so number 1 was the culture shift. Number 2, become friends with social media. So I have a news flash for you. The internet is not a fad. It is not going away. Social media is not going away. It is here to stay. So what I encourage you to do is to make friends with it. And there's no such thing as being too late to this party. If there's anybody in here who hasn't fully embraced social media, it's okay. You're not alone, and it's definitely not too late. It's never too late to get started with this. So there's people that can help you. You may think you're too far behind, you've missed the boat, but anyone can start to learn any social media channel today. And I recommend just starting with one. Try to master one of these. Don't frustrate yourself with trying to master, 10 different social media channels at the same time. So I'm not talking about just social media, also talking about internet presence, web presence. We'll talk a little bit about your reputation online and that in just a little bit. But if your online presence doesn't match up with the fabulous in-store, brick and mortar, or in-person experience that I have with you, then there's going to be a disconnect. So make sure that your website is easy to navigate. We'll talk some tips on that in a minute too, but just making sure that your online presence matches the quality of your in-person presence. All right. So how do we do that? A couple different ways. Well, first of all, I want you to think of social media as not just social media. I want you to think of social media as social proof. And what do I mean by that? I mean that social proof has been around a long time. It's been around way longer than social media. So things like Consumer Reports magazine, where you go to see if this lawnmower or dishwasher or car does what it says it's supposed to do. That's been around a long time. The Better Business Bureau can tell you if a business is legitimate or not. And even the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Those are all elements of social proof. And what that means is just that we trust a group of people to tell us about something more than we trust just one individual. If 500 people say something, it weighs more than 5 people saying it. So that's the power and the value of social media, is using social proof to your benefit for your business. So there's some output things that relate to marketing and some input things that relate to reputation. So I'm not going to go through all of these, and I'm not going to try to convince you which one you need to use. I'll be happy to visit with anyone if they have some questions about which one I think they should get started on if they're not on one already. But Facebook, of course, is a really wide reach social media that I highly encourage you to use. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's not free. You may think Facebook's free, but it's not. Twitter, you may not be using Twitter a lot for your business. I would imagine that depending on what your business is, you're probably using Facebook and Instagram and maybe LinkedIn. So Instagram is a great place to have a visual representation of your business. And some of you may use Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn. And if you're not live streaming video, I'm here to tell you right now is a fabulous time for you to be live streaming videos about your business. And I know I've talked to a lot of you the last several weeks, and I've heard a lot of people say, but I don't want to be on camera. Well, you don't have to be on camera. You don't have to have your face on camera to do a live streaming video. You can be walking through your store. You can be showing how something works. You can be interviewing someone else. But live video really rises to the top of attention spans right now, especially while people are at home and surfing the net all day long and surfing Facebook all day long. So use Facebook live streaming to your advantage. Same thing goes with Instagram stories right now, videos. So try to take a look at some of those. Also, your input is your reputation. So making sure that you have claimed your business on Yelp. Have you done that? Do you have tourists who come to visit your business? If so, then you need to claim your business on TripAdvisor. If you mainly cater to locals in Georgetown, you may not need that as much. But if you attract tourists, definitely make sure that you have a listing on TripAdvisor. Google search. Y'all, I can't tell you how important this is. I am shocked how many times I go work in a community and I'll do a Google search on small business and I cannot find the business on Google. So what that means is that you need to go in there and claim your business on Google. And there's a whole operation at Google called Google My Business. And I think y'all have actually done some business with them before, if I'm not mistaken. in the city of Georgetown. But Google My Business is the best way for you to get your Google listing up and running for your business. And why is that important? Because when a visitor types in the name of your business, it goes straight to your Google search profile. And then from there, they can click on your phone number, your address, a link to your website or your Facebook page, and it's accurate. Another reason why you need to be using Google search is because, have you ever typed in ladies dress shop near me or home accessories near me? That's Google's internal intelligence, artificial intelligence that looks for the nearest zip code of the person who's doing the Google search, and they link that person up with the nearest store that matches their search. But if you haven't claimed your business on Google My Business, they can't find you with the near me search language. So make sure you've done that. Make sure you're findable on the maps. Make sure your map is actually accurate on Google Maps. And the last thing is making sure that your website is where it needs to be. Is your website easy to navigate? When's the last time you went in and tried to find something on your website? Just try to be completely put on like the windshield tour and act like you've never been to your website before. Could a visitor find what they were looking for? Make sure there's relevant and timely events on your website. Today is May the 4th. If we go in there and I see that you're advertising stuff for Valentine's Day, then you're either way late or way early. So make sure that your stuff is timely on there and that your website is mobile responsive. I'm surprised I still have to say this in 2020, but your website needs to be, when I say mobile responsive, what I mean is when I open my cell phone or I open my tablet, your website should adjust to whatever screen size I'm looking at it on. And if I have to reach down and pinch, you know how you have to pinch the screen and push it wide? If you have to pinch the screen with your 2 fingers, then that means that your website is not mobile responsive. So that's not that big a deal to get mobile responsive, but you need to do that if you're not. Okay, so paying attention to that, let's get into why social proof is so important. Well, Jeffrey Gitomer, some of you may have heard about him before. He's a customer service author, researcher, and he says that the reason why social proof is so important, is so powerful for you, is that it's 50 times more powerful than other advertising. So that's why we look to Yelp when we want to try out a new restaurant or we want to try out a new place to shop. That's why we look at Yelp or TripAdvisor when we're traveling, because it's 50 times more powerful. That's how much we trust it. So leverage that. So what should you be doing on Facebook or Instagram? We don't have time to go through all of these, but these are just you can snapshot, you can screenshot this, or you'll see that you can get the slides later. But there's lots of different things that you can do to maximize your reach on Facebook or Instagram, especially right now. So just remember that Facebook and Instagram are not free. They may be free for you to use, but they're not free for you to leverage. So make sure that you have a little bit in your budget that you have some kind of ad spend on Facebook or Instagram, because Facebook and Instagram are not going to show your content to folks unless you pay them a little bit. And this can be a really minimum amount. I mean, I have people that I know that own businesses that spend $1 a day. So it doesn't have to be something, huge, monumental Super Bowl ad kind of expense. But you do need to pay to play if you're gonna use Facebook or Instagram. You'll see how much more mileage you get. Post it daily, reply to post. It's surprising to me how many. It's social media is an interactive thing. It's not a posting thing. So when you post and people interact, you've got to interact again. So when people reply and comment, you've got to reply to their comments so that you're engaging in a conversation with them. Replying to comments. What are you doing to create fun? To create fun and curiosity. The point of social media is to get someone curious enough to come into your store or to call you or to hit the link to your website or your Instagram bio and order something from there. So how do you create curiosity in your business? Running contests, running polls. People love to answer little questions. That's why that BuzzFeed survey question poll thing gets so much traction. Is people, they're not willing to answer 50 questions, but they're willing to answer 4 or 5 questions. So create an interactive poll on your Facebook and Instagram. Are you posting great photos, beautiful, colorful, intriguing, eye-catching photos? Are you using the live function, the stories and the Facebook Live? Ask questions and make sure everything is correct when it comes to hours on your website, linking your website, all of that. Okay, so what are some things you can do on Facebook and Instagram? Well, the list is endless. And if you have something cool that you're doing that I didn't list here, be sure and put it in the chat box, and we'll have 15 minutes at the end to discuss your ideas. But any kind of shop local thing, any event that you have, how families can enjoy what it is you're selling or your store, couples, if there's something that couples can enjoy there. Are you doing a profile on your staff? Have you done a profile on yourself? People like to know this kind of stuff. People are nosy and they're curious and they're interested. So give them some things to look at. Talk about your sales, your specials. I love the next one. Did you know that in my home accessory store that I also now sell gift cards in the back? Greeting cards or whatever. So unexpected things that you sell in your store, if you have a brick and mortar, that people may not suspect that you sell. So that's a good way to get new customers in the door. And behind the scenes, you don't want to show everybody your junky stock room, of course, but people like to see, well, how did that outfit get merchandised on the wall? So show them you setting things up or working things out in your business. And also unboxings. It's fascinating to me how many people find unboxings fascinating, but it's, if you get a new line of something in your store and someone's filming you while you're opening the boxes, or you're filming a staff member opening boxes, people love that because it generates curiosity. So look for those kinds of things. Okay, number 3, taking care of your employees. I don't have to tell you, but when you treat your employees like gold, they'll treat your customers like gold. Conversely, if you treat your employees with apathy or disdain or frustration right now during this time, they will embody that and push that back out to your customer. So this is where positivity, hope, optimism, kindness, patience, all those things are really critical right now, and your staff needs to see that you have those things. So taking care of employees. Now you may wonder, why is that before taking care of customers? Because I believe that employee service comes before customer service. It's like lining up customer service accurately. So just an example, at Ritz-Carlton, they have a motto that says, "We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen." Well, what does that mean? It means a lot of different things. First of all, it's an elevated experience. It doesn't say dudes and broads, right? It says ladies and gentlemen. And so it's an elevated level of service, but it's also an equitable service. It says that we value our staff as much as we value our guests. So that's an important qualification there. At Ritz-Carlton, they promise their staff, an employee promise, that they are the most important resource in their service commitment. So give that some thought. Is there some ways that you can convey to your staff that you value them to take care of your customers? One thing that Ritz-Carlton does is they have a daily lineup. So before work starts, every shift, now this is, I don't know how many employees worldwide, but this is every property, every shift, every day. The manager takes 10 to 15 minutes to talk about one of the values, one of the guiding principles, which they call the gold standard there. Excuse me. And what they do is they highlight that value and talk about it before the shift starts. So every employee has that fresh of mind. So if you want to see what the 20, they call basics, if you want to see what the 20 basics of the Ritz-Carlton gold standard is, you can go Google that. And that may be something to implement in your business. Okay. So what causes employees to act up or cause dysfunction? Well, there's a lot of different things, and not all of them are necessarily their fault. So just recognizing that there's a lot of different things that might be causing an employee to um, not do not fulfill the expectations that you have of them. Could be bad attitude. It could be that their supervisor's not treating them fairly, boredom on the job, hopefully none of that, but being treated unfairly, overlooked, ignored. And we can't dismiss that there's personal problems at home that will affect that when people bring that to work on the job. Do they feel like a number? Do they feel like they deserve better than your job? That's something to think about. They need to feel like that job, that's a good job for them. And keep in mind that there could be something medical, emotional, psychological going on. Not every employee is going to tell you about a health problem or a family problem or a loss or something like that going on in their family. So, and of course, apathy too. Hopefully they don't work there much longer if they're apathetic. Okay, so how do you find out, how do you elevate your staff and figure out what their strengths are? Well, I know right now it's a tough time with budget and having enough money to do the things that you want to do. But for $20 per employee at gallupstrengthcenter.com, this used to be called Gallup Strength Finder. Now it's called Clifton Strengths. For $20 an employee, you can go in and have them answer a series of questions, and then you get a little report at the end of what that employee's top 5 strengths are. What do they do really well? And Clifton describes a strength as a combination of talents, knowledge, and skills. And Clifton, Gallup, this is the Gallup poll company, they say that people who once an employee knows their strengths and they use them every day, they're 6 times more likely to be engaged on the job. That's a pretty good return on your $20. When you focus on employee strengths, 73% become engaged. That's a pretty high number. And people who focus on their strengths are more than 3 times as likely to say they have an excellent quality of life. So it's a good way for you to spend a little bit of money and help your employees understand what their strengths are and how to use those strengths on the job. It can also help you when you figure out who you need to elevate or promote or put in certain responsibility positions. Remember that people are not always just motivated by money. That, of course, money is a motivator, especially right now, but people can be motivated by other things. And this is just a list I put together. Then you may have another idea for one too, but just remember that the freedom to be creative, self-improvement, training, workshops, webinars, all of those things can be beneficial rewards to them. So stability and security, the reason why this is on here is it has been my experience over the years that not enough business owners talk about the financial strength of their business to their staff. Now, I'm not saying that you got to pull out your tax returns and share every dollar of revenue and expense with your staff, but people want to know that the place that they work is financially secure. And so if you are financially secure, then share that with your staff and say, don't worry, you have a job, our business is doing great, we're meeting goals. If you're suffering right now, it's okay to tell your staff, hey, excuse me, we need all hands on deck. We need everyone to come to the table. We need everyone to elevate this, and they will feel like a part of the team. So sharing your financial stability or instability to whatever level you're comfortable can really get your staff on the same page with you. So don't overlook that opportunity. And then, of course, recognition. You know who likes public recognition and who likes private recognition. Okay, here's some other ways to reward employees. You already know some of these things, but maybe some opportunities to do some other things that you're not doing. Celebrate birthdays, writing thank you notes, opportunities for them to suggest. They're the frontline employees of your business, and they have ideas sometimes that you haven't thought about because of an experience that they've had with a customer. So ask them for their suggestions rewarding high performers. If you have a poor performer, don't let them, one apple can spoil the bunch. So don't let a poor performer affect everyone else. Do some team building activities. Make sure you're giving them professional development, vacation days. I used to have a boss years ago where he couldn't give bonuses, but a couple days a year, he would just say, don't come in tomorrow, just a free vacation day. He didn't count it against your vacation time or your sick time. He just said, just take the day off, which was a really big gift. I'd rather have that than a check sometimes. So, and then he would do early release sometimes too. He would say, after lunch, just go home today and take the rest of the day off. Just only 1 or 2 days a year, but it was nice. So look for ways to reward employees. And lastly here, pay attention to your environment in your workplace. Whether you have a brick and mortar store or you're a professional services office, do you have fresh flowers? Do you have live plants? Do you have a goldfish in a bowl? Studies show that when there's something living inside your office, like a plant or flowers or a fish or an aquarium, fish tank, that it soothes people's minds and it makes for a better environment. So look for something live that you can put in your business. Goodies, little candy jar, group luncheons. Do you talk? Do you stop by and visit with people? Do you try to say yes when you can? Do you celebrate together? Do you volunteer together? Have you ever taken your staff to go paint a classroom or to work a food bank or something like that? Those can be really great ideal environment bonding structures. And of course, encouraging humor. We all need that, especially now. All right, on the I put this together. You've heard the term sea legs. Well, it's not really spelled that way, but I spelled it this way because I want you to remember that your employees need your sea legs. What does that mean? Caring, leadership, enthusiasm, gratitude, and strength. So they need to see that you care. They need to see you having compassion, giving back in different ways. They need to see that you lead with integrity, that you are honest and transparent, and that you will share with them what's going on. Enthusiasm. They're not going to be enthusiastic if you're not enthusiastic. So you've got to come to the job with the energy and the encouragement, faith in the future, that everything's going to be okay. Gratitude. Do your employees see you saying thank you to people? Do you catch them doing good things and thank them? Do you talk about the strength of the company? Do you talk about the strength of their job? Do you talk about the long-term vision for your company? And do you have support for professional development? All those go into your sea legs. I love this quote from Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And we could all probably tell stories along these lines. Okay, number 4 is your image. How about this sign here? Your image. Are you sending mixed messages anywhere? Is there anywhere in your business where you're sending a mixed message? Look for that. Image, negative signs. Is there any negative signs in your business? Now, I'm not saying you can't have any of these signs in your business or you shouldn't, but by all means, if people are coming into your business with no shirt on or no shoes on, we're not in Key West here in Georgetown. But, if you have a problem with that, go ahead and put up a sign. But if you really don't have a problem with people coming in shirtless, that's probably not a good negative sign to put up. So just look around your office and your store and see if there's any negative signs that you can eliminate or that you can change. And here's a good example of one that did change. A store. I saw this in one store. Sorry, we break, we cry, you break, you buy. That's not really real customer warm and fuzzy and centric. And chances are you may not ask them to buy it anyway. So why put that sign out? This sign says the same thing. It's just a little less snarky, but it says unintended children will be given an espresso and a free puppy. So it kind of sends the same message, but it doesn't have the same level of condescension in there. So look for ways to improve your image if you have one. Do you have open signs? Could you change them to welcome signs? Do you have a sign that says exit or the back side of your open sign? Could you change something instead of saying exit to, we hope that we've earned the privilege of seeing and serving you again. That definitely says something different than exit. And double check, triple check your grammar, your spelling. I secret shopped a business a couple years ago that had 29 misspelled words on their menu. It was a restaurant. And it was an Italian restaurant. And of course, you know, there's opportunities for misspelled words when it's not in your native language. But that's just too many, too many. You know, so look for, make sure that everything is edited and proofed in your business. Also relating to your image, are your floors clean? This is kind of my image checklist for your, if you have a brick and mortar store or you have a professional services office, here's kind of my checklist. Are your floors clean? Are you welcoming people quickly? What does it smell like? It's not just what it looks like, but what does it smell like in your business? That's one of the things that I note when I'm secret shopping. Are your guests wowed? Do you ever have a wow moment in there? Now, I want you to do this today before the day is over. I want you to go look at the hours on your door, the hours on your website, the hours listed on your Facebook, Yelp, and Google. Do all 5 of those places have the exact same date and hours? And do they have the correct address? Double check that before you go to bed tonight. What does it sound like in your store? If you have a store or a professional services office, what does that sound? Is it deafening silence in there? Or is it kind of a low tone, something that matches what you're selling that makes me comfortable and makes me want to linger around and shop some more? Now, I get a lot of pushback on this sometimes, but staff should wear name tags. It's not that expensive to go have a name tag made. And I like to know the name of the person. I don't need to know their last name and their street address and social security number, but I'd like to know the first name of the person who's helping me and waiting on me. And I just think that's a gracious element of customer service. And it's something worth considering if you haven't bought name tags for your staff. It's a low expense and a good customer service element. Are your items merchandised attractively? If not, there's folks that can help you with that. So if you walk into someone else's store and you see something that's merchandised really attractively, ask them who helps them do that. All right, and I know that a lot of you, I'm not going to spend much time on this slide because I know many of you don't have public restrooms, but if you do, it's not just the toilet that needs to be cleaned, it's all of these things. So pay attention to all of these different elements of a clean restroom. Okay, so number 5. Number 4 was image. Number 5 is innovative marketing. Now, this is especially important during COVID right now. And if you have something that you have seen the last 6 weeks that is really creative and innovative, and I don't list it here, go ahead and type it into the chat box, and Kim is going to read through those and highlight a couple of those, or maybe call on you to share what that experience was. But here's some cool things that I've seen. Doing an open house with refreshments, a special promo right now during this time, buy one, get one, buy one, get one half off, get one free, staying open late, a ladies' night out, a sidewalk sale. Sidewalk sale can be really attractive right now, where people may be, you know, apprehensive to come in your store not knowing how many people are in there. It could be a safe way for them to shop from the sidewalk and then draw them in. So don't underestimate that. Are you doing co-op marketing with other merchants? If you're a brick and mortar store in Georgetown, is there someone else that you could do some co-op marketing with that says, I sell this and they sell that, and we're working that together or cross promoting? It's a good opportunity to do that. And if you have some type of newsletter or email that you send out to folks, go ahead and put some coupons in there to get them out shopping again. Okay, a couple other things. I've seen some folks do this during this time, is having a discount card. So not a gift card, not something free, but it says, you know, 10% off or 20% off in our store. And you go pass out those coupons at the hospital, at the food bank, at a nursing home, where those essential workers are working right now. Maybe it's grocery store employees, maybe it's your fire station or police station. but finding out who you can reach out to that is considered an essential employee and give them a discount in your store. You don't have to do it forever, but it's a great thing to do right now to show your appreciation. Cross promoting with other merchants. So maybe you know someone who's in this room right now who sells something different than what you sell, but you could partner with them and you could hand out their coupons in your bag when you're bagging something up, and they can hand out your coupon at their store. So look for a partner that you maybe can share and cross promote coupons with. Doesn't it have to be even a complementary business to yours? It can just be someone that y'all want to promote each other. Specialty food events, curbside, and home delivery are really important right now. Even if you're not a restaurant, could you be doing curbside home delivery of selling any type of goods? I know plenty of, I know a woman who owns a interior design, like home accessory business, and she gets on Facebook Live every day and talks about, highlighting this lamp and these throw pillows and these great candles, and call today or call right now or put a comment in the Facebook, and she delivers them that day to people's houses. She's making a ton of money with a home delivery and curbside pickup that she never had before in her brick and mortar. So it's a great opportunity. Okay, we're almost out of time, but customer service is number 6. Positive attitude is the foundation of your life. Is the determining factor of your ability to serve. So customer service, of course, this is important, taking care of your customer, treating every customer as though they were your favorite celebrity, hero, friend, neighbor, or grandma is what Jeffrey Gitomer says, but treating folks with that elevated level of service. So we're not all perfect. I know that there are opportunities for improvement. So look at these and see, is there any of these that you can improve? If so, go ahead and take a moment, write that word down. Maybe you're super friendly, but maybe you're not as creative as you want to be. Maybe you're super enthusiastic, but you're not really as knowledgeable about some new line or new product that you're getting in. So maybe we're not all real patient right now. So whatever that is, make a note. If you want to put it in the chat box, you can. If you want to share it with everyone else. But there's always room for improvement. So I encourage you to pick 1 or 2 of these things that you can improve. So gold standard, go ahead and Google that if you're interested in that. But the point on this is that they give 3 steps of service at Ritz-Carlton. They give a warm and sincere greeting, and they try to use the guest name if they know it. They anticipate and comply with guest needs, and they say a fond farewell. Thank you for coming in, and they try to use, thank you, Miss Cook, thank you, Miss McAuliffe, using customers' names. That's really powerful. And this is just a reminder, you know this already, but for your staff, if you have folks waiting on customers, they can only say, my pleasure, or no, ma'am, thank you. Thank you for coming into our store. But make sure that no one who works for you is saying, no worries, no problem, no sweat, no biggie, sure. Those things are just too casual and too familiar for your business. So my pleasure or no thank you are the proper responses. And number 7, be strategic. Get out a pen and paper this week and write down, what is the mission statement of our business? Is it still relevant if we wrote one before? What's our vision for our business? Where do we really want this thing to be? And a vision statement right now doesn't really have to be long-term. It can be to December. What do we want our business to be by December? Put together and write a strategic plan. This isn't a big deal. You can just say, what are our 2 or 3 or 4 goals for the rest of the year? And what are some strategies to achieve it? And how are we going to measure it? That's all that is. Every day, I used to say reach out to 2 people a week. I think right now during COVID, I think now's a great time to find 2 people to reach out to every single day. Phone call, text message, email, messenger, whatever. Just remind them what you're doing. Remind them that you're opening up and what your safety mechanisms are that you're going to implement in your business. But people need that personal touch because everyone's dealing with their own issues right now. Asking yourself, who can I help today? Practicing gratitude. Boy, that's been really powerful. what are you thankful for? Writing that down every day. You may not think that has a lot to do with your business, but it can. It really can. And steal good ideas from other people. Look for opportunities to see what other cool things other people are doing. And it doesn't have to be just what other people are doing in Georgetown. What are other people doing in cities all over the United States right now to survive and to come back and have their business thrive? So stealing good ideas from everywhere. Okay, so here's a quick recap of everything that we've talked about. Number 1 was craft a new culture in your business. Number 2, really utilizing and maximizing social media to where it's your social proof. Number 3, taking care of your employees first. When you take care of them and they feel that, they will take care of your customers. Number 4 was increasing your attention to your image, your online image, your professional image, your negativity image, your mixed message image. All of those things have to go into that. Your merchandising. Number 5, creating special events, looking for innovative marketing, especially during COVID-19 right now. Number 6, excuse me, improving customer service. And number 7, getting strategic about your business. So that's our recap. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Lagniappe. If you heard this term before, this is a Louisiana term, and you can tell from my accent, I'm from Louisiana. What is lagniappe? Lagniappe is a little expected something. It's just a little something extra that you neither paid for nor expected. And what is that? It can be a lot of different things in your business, but look for that thing that you can do a little something extra for somebody that they didn't expect. And you will be surprised how much that lagniappe gets back and gives back and comes back to you in the form of reciprocity. So always giving a little something extra to the customer. We never regret that. And always knowing the value of saying thank you. And I want to say thank you to you for your time today. I hope you got some good tips. I know this was kind of fast, lots of stuff, but we're going to give you a link to the slides. Here it is right here. You can look, you can grab the slides at opportunitystrategies.com/Georgetown. And be sure and put in the chat box. I think we already have a few comments there. But go ahead and I don't know why that happened there. Go ahead and put any comments in there, and I'll turn it over to Kim to ask questions or to unmute your microphone if you want to share some cool ideas that you've seen.
Great, thank you, Alicia. It looks like we had a comment from Lisa King relating back to the innovative marketing. So I'm going to unmute Lisa. I think she wanted to share an example. Lisa, you are unmuted.
Hey, good morning, Alicia. That was great. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, I was going to share creating special events, innovative marketing. One of the things that I saw recently, it works really well for right now, is doing product demos, videoing either live or pre-taping them and sharing them. But if you've got a product, even something real simple, wax candle warmers or anything like that, like little recipe mixes that you mix up with sour cream, or a lot of the little gift and specialty shops sell that, to do a product demo with that and record it.
That's a great idea.
Interactive, lets them know that it's super easy, or and it's something directive that's easier to do than being a talking head on a video, which is hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it is. It's always better to video someone else doing that if you can.
Absolutely.
Do we have anyone else in the room who you can unmute yourself, or you can raise your little hand thing and Kim will unmute you?
Yeah, are there any other questions? Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. I appreciate that.
That's a great idea.
Anyone have any great examples? Any questions for Alicia? We're happy to take questions. This is your time. You can just type something into the chat that you want to speak, or if you have something specific, remember that chat box is at the bottom of your screen. Just click on that and you can make a comment. There's also a new feature called reaction. So if there's something that you liked about today, you can give us a little reaction on there too, just so we know that you heard everything. Okay, it looks like we've got a question from Lauren. How would you suggest going about training a young or shy employee in customer service?
That's a great question, Lauren. I think that for someone who's young or shy, the most important thing that you can help them with is their confidence level. And so first thing that I would suggest is make sure that they are knowledgeable. We're all more confident when we're knowledgeable about our product, our service, how to do things. So make sure that they are properly, fully trained on everything that you're going to be expecting them to do or to sell or to perform. And talk about confidence. Talk about how when you had your first job, about the things that your boss did for you for confidence. I think sometimes, having a young person understand that you were once in their shoes and that everybody had that first job too, that can help soothe them a little bit. But just give them pointers along the way also. So whenever you see them doing something really strong that you're proud of, pull them aside immediately and say, I saw how you treated Mrs. Jones, and that was a great way to serve her, to talk to her, or to show her an upsell. So find something to praise and do kind of a spot award and say, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for here. I'd love to see more of that out of you. And then take teaching moments. The last thing I would say on this is if you have a opportunity, say, come on over here, let me show you how we're going to handle this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to talk to this customer about this issue or problem. So kind of modeling the type behavior and taking time for teaching moments. I know that's hard to take time, but those are my best suggestions for how to deal with a young and shy employee, is that just getting their confidence level up through those different elements.
That's great. And Lauren and anyone else that may be interested, Alicia is doing another presentation on Wednesday, and that will be polishing your presentation skills. So for an employee that you might want to have some extra training, they might be a little bit shy, that could be a great way that they could work on presentation skills. It could translate across to your retail store and the way that they interact with customers a little bit more confidently.
Sure can. That's a great idea. Yeah, I will be doing the Zoom presentation Wednesday, same time, 9:00, and we'll be talking about presentation tips. So if they need some help talking to customers, get them in on that. Send them the link for the Zoom call on Wednesday.
Will do. I'm going to also put up that reminder for the new small business resource guide that I discussed at the very beginning, in case there was anyone that missed on that. But the Economic Development Department has a new link on the website, and I'm going to send that out right now.
Okay. Oh, I see another question from Glenna too.
Oh, yes.
We all know, Glenna says, we all know the normal social media channels. Have you heard of TikTok, and what do you suggest, or do I suggest? Okay, yes, Glenna, I am seeing more and more small business owners using TikTok, and you may think that's it's actually TikTok for those of you who want to research that. And it's a small form video thing. A lot of young folks are using it, and it's set to music a lot of time, not always, but it can be voiceovers, lip syncs, and videos. And I saw a really innovative thing that the Gonzales, Texas chamber did. They did a TikTok, the chamber did, right when we were starting to be home isolated. And after the stay-at-home orders came, the Gonzales chamber did a TikTok video. I can't think of the artist's name, but she sings that song, Come to My Window. Melissa Etheridge, Come to My Window. Well, they put a video together of the chamber president going to her different chamber members' windows and doors, and they put their hands to the glass of the member, and it was really powerful, emotional video about how the chamber still loves you even if we can't come in and promote you, we're still here for you. So I thought that was an excellent use of TikTok with real evocative music. It was an emotional thing. So if you get a chance, you can look that up. But anyways, yeah. So I think if you're a fun-loving business and you want to put together a cute video, I think putting your TikTok video and posting it to your Instagram or to your Facebook, I think that's a cool, new, hip way to show innovative marketing, especially right now.
I haven't been brave enough myself, but maybe
I haven't either.
maybe we can get out there and give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Glenna.
Anybody
else?
Other questions? We'll wait for just another minute or two, but we certainly appreciate you tuning in today. I know that time is valuable. I hope that the information that you received was something that you feel you can implement right away in your business. That's what this is intended to be, something that's helpful right now. And if you have any questions and you don't want to type them in the chat box or be called on, you can email me, you can email Alicia, and we would be happy to follow up with you.
Absolutely.
Again, the slides from today and the presentation will be available. Her slides are available on the website there that you see in the window. And then the recording of this will be available on the invest.georgetown.org website. We'll probably put those up next week, but I'll send you a direct link via email.
Great. And, as Kim said, I'm here for you. Anyone who's on this call, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to give you any free advice, no charge. I've been telling my customers right now that they can call me if they want to scream or cry or vent or brainstorm. So I'm here for any of those things for you. So don't be shy about reaching out if you need any help with anything. And if I don't know the answer, I can put you in touch with another resource that can. But know that I'm pulling for each of you. I hope that you will come out of this devastating time really successful and strong again. And I can't wait to get back in your stores and come shop with you in Georgetown.
Okay, I think with that, I don't see any more questions. But again, thank you, Alicia. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. And we will hope to see you again for another session later this week, celebrating Georgetown Small Business Week. Thank you.